Hi Ben, how are things?
Hey, how's it going?
To get straight into it, 12 months ago when you were linking up with Connacht, did you have it in your head at all that like within a year you could be on the verge of getting an Ireland squad, or would you always have kind of been confident that you just needed a little break?
Yeah, well, I suppose from the outside looking in, it probably would have been pretty far-fetched, but I kind of felt that, with the movements this year, Lions year and all that, there was going to be an opportunity for a young scrum half to come into the squad, and I just wanted to put my best foot forward to kind of be the one to be in that position. And look, thankfully I got an opportunity early with Connacht, and I've managed to push forward and get into the squad, so I'm delighted.
And you've been around the squad at points earlier on in the season as the kind of training panelist or extended squads. Does it feel a little bit different to kind of be preparing for a summer series where you really feel like you could be in with a shot at getting some game time?
Yeah, definitely. No, I suppose it feels a little bit more comfortable because you've had them experiences. But whether I was a training panelist or whether I'm in the normal squad, you go out to train the same way to try earn an opportunity to play, and that hasn't really changed. So I suppose in that aspect it's been similar, but I think those experiences have helped me.
As Mike mentioned, there's like a responsibility on some players, some of the more experienced players, to take on a bit of leadership over this campaign. Who have been, with so many people obviously away with the Lions, who have been the people who've kind of been leading things in terms of the playing group?
Yeah, well, obviously there's not a whole lot of experience in the group, but lads who've been in for the last couple of years. Obviously Craig as captain has been great. He's been great to myself and Doki as well. Then the tens, I've worked with both tens before. They're very good at kind of setting up the team and getting their messages across. And then there's obviously lads like Berto, Stu McCluskey, who've been around for a little bit longer again. So I think there's a really good mix of that experience, and then I feel that with so many new kind of caps or potential new caps, that brings a bit of enthusiasm as well, which I think all together is a good mix.
It's been a while obviously since the Connacht and the Ulster crew would have played games. Do you feel refreshed from a break, or would there be any danger of a little bit of rustiness?
No, there wasn't much of a break, to be honest. We were, as I suppose in Connacht, us, the kind of Irish contingent and the Lions had been training all the way through to make sure that we were in shape whether we got the call or not. So I think I'd speak for the Ulster lads as well, that we're ready to go.
Thanks. Sinead?
Ben, you got a few end of season awards overall with Connacht. How would you sum up your season?
Up and down, to say the least. Obviously, individually, I was fairly happy with how much I played and how much I kind of contributed to the group. But obviously, what it comes down to mainly is the team performances, and ultimately we were too inconsistent. And I suppose there was a lot of frustration around the end of the year. I think particularly around the Racing game and the end of the URC, where we felt like we still had a chance, and unfortunately we just didn't take it. But no, it was great learning. I suppose for me as a young halfback, like what I can take forward to next year has been very valuable.
So when you see Stuart Lancaster's taking over, what's your reaction?
Yeah, excitement. I think I said it's something a media thing with Connacht during the end of the season, and I kind of said I didn't feel we were too far away from being very good, and I think Stu has the ability to kind of take us that next step. He's been left a good foundation by the staff that were there last year, but I think that we're ready to take a next step hopefully next year.
And what's it like with your dad then as well? Like obviously it's just a unique situation with you guys. Like does he still text you after games, or give you a lot of feedback, or what's that like?
Unless we're playing Ulster, yeah. But no, he's been great in and around. Obviously, wouldn't talk about our teams or whatever, but individually, he's still kind of someone who I can bounce things off.
Just on that, with you on the cusp of an Ireland debut, and Jack making his senior bye for Ulster, and your dad in his first full year as a head coach, just how exciting has it been for the family for all those things to sort of be happening simultaneously?
Yeah, it's been busy for my mum anyway. She's been up and down the road a lot, from Belfast to Galway to wherever. So, but no, it has been hugely exciting. Obviously, Ulster have had their ups and downs as well as us. So we've kind of been on a similar journey, I feel. And Jack the same, you know, young kind of halfback, learning his trade, but he's kind of starting to come into his own now. So no, massively exciting times for everyone.
Good for you to get the family bragging rights by finishing above them in the table.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, got 2 wins over, so I kind of keep that one quiet.
And have you ever come across Stuart Lancaster through dealings with your dad or whatever? I can't remember offhand if they crossed over at any point.
No, but I had 2 years with him when I was in the Leinster Academy.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's renowned for the work he does in terms of coaching, but in terms of how he builds players as people as well, have you experienced that already?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. No, like any dealings I had with him, I've always had massive respect for him. And I think you can see the development in the likes of a lot of the Lions who've gone in, who've worked with him in Leinster, how he's brought them up from 19, 20-year-olds to now Lions, hopefully Lions internationals in a few weeks. So, yeah, I think he is very good, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch, and building like leadership skills and driving a team. So I'm looking forward to hopefully picking his brain a bit on that.
Thanks. William?
The last time we spoke, Ben, we couldn't actually say that Stuart Lancaster was coming, but we all knew he was coming to Connacht. Have you met him yet? Have you had a chance to have a talk to him?
I didn't actually know he was coming at that stage, but
Okay. You played that very well.
But I'd met him briefly his first day and kind of had a quick chat with him. He kind of outlined a couple of things that he wants to try to implement, and look, it's all going to be massively exciting. And hopefully, you know, I think they're starting early July and hopefully get a good bit of groundwork done over pre-season.
Just coming up to this scenario with Ireland, Connacht players have often come to these sort of things, maybe 1 or 2 of them, sometimes only 1 of them, but the six of you lads here, plus a coach. Has that made it slightly different or slightly easier?
I think it's definitely made it easier. Definitely made the last few weeks easier, because we were able to train in a group and kind of build that excitement and work on things in Galway that can transfer over to here. And yeah, look, we're a tight knit group as it is, and then so it's been enjoyable but tough few weeks training together.
And just looking at Georgia, I mean, they play a very physical, very hard game. I don't see them changing that. Have you been focusing on that? Because I suppose scrum half is going to be they're going to be targeting you very, very quickly if they get the opportunity.
Yeah, 100%, and we know that kind of, especially that pressure and the breakdowns coming. But I suppose it's been our first couple of days, so we've been very much focused on ourselves with a slight look to Georgia. But that will build throughout the next week. But yeah, we're under no illusions about how tough it's going to be over there. And like, you know, all media, all past players, whoever's talking about it, you know, they kind of set the scene well for what it's going to be like over there.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks. Any further questions?
Could I just ask you about, you mentioned the good crop of Connacht players in this squad, and one of them, Shane Bolton, is someone who's kind of has had a tricky run with injuries, but Ireland have clearly had a look at him throughout the A squads and stuff like that over the last year or so. He seems a very unique player. What's he like to kind of play with on a weekly basis? Can you tell us a bit about him?
He's great as someone who just gets you on the front foot. You know, I think you wouldn't think of actually how quick he is as well. I think that kind of goes underestimated by people. Just kind of a freak athlete who can beat someone one-on-one, and that's exactly who you want in your team. And I suppose as support runners, then you can kind of gamble a little bit more, and that he's going to get his hands free. And I think, yeah, the more you see of him, I think the more he's going to grow. So I think he's a good player.
You talk about the Connacht players here, but I'm sure it was a proud moment for everyone involved in the province to see the 3 lads on Friday night playing for the Lions.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, obviously they've worked very hard to get into that position, and I thought all of them put their best foot forward. Bundy obviously scored. I thought Finlay did well, and Mac had a good impact off the bench as well. So yeah, it's a proud day. It was a proud day for everyone watching, and hopefully they kick on now and see if we can get involved in the tests.